Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. I don't know if I even need to say it.
We've been waiting so long for this.
If you're in the anti-mlm community, you know that Scentsy is slowly but surely imploding. At the time that I'm recording this video, they just had their announcement call explaining it yesterday. They just recently announced big changes to their compensation plan, as well as changes to their pricing and their packaging and all of the above. And let me tell you, it is mirroring what BODi did in 2023, right before they announced that they were switching to an affiliate-only model. And we are talking about everything from the Zoom call that happened with the CEO, Dan Orchard, all the way to the consultants that have now decided they are leaving. We're gonna get right the fuck into it. But first, we need the disclaimer.
Still on the swing for patrol cars. Know the flow so dope, need a no guard. In the road, give me ease. I'm a coast to the coast guard. Wanna see my whole car. Used to roll on the slow like the boy.
Now, if you are not familiar with Scentsy, I will give you a little bit of a rundown. They are an MLM, also known as a multi-level marketing company, network marketing company, social selling company. Some would refer to them currently as a pyramid scheme. And the reason for that is because they have a business model where the consultants that sign up to sell Scentsy have to ultimately recruit more people underneath them to make the maximum amount of money, which would put them at a substantial enough income to pay some kind of bill. Now, aside from their recruitment business model, they do sell products. Their products of focus are scented products. And the main product that they're known for are the quote unquote wickless candles that you might have heard of. And these are the warmers where there's a light bulb and you plug them into the wall. They have a dish on top, melts the wax, makes your house smell good and whatnot. They also sell a bunch of other scented products such as laundry care, skincare, kids products. They used to have pet products. It's out of control. Now, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many others, their products over the years have become more and more overpriced. And the reasoning behind that many believe is because they have so many people to pay out. They do have a full corporate home office is what they call it. And these employees that work there are paid either salary or hourly. So they have to pay them out. And then they have all of these consultants who are on different levels who they also have to pay out, meaning they have to make their money somehow. So they're going to tack it on to the prices of the products and also take money from consultants who are at the bottom of the pyramid. But you know, that's just allegedly in my opinion.
Is it though?
Anyway, this week, at the time that I'm recording this, it is January 18th, 2025. 24 is behind us. We are in a new year. And Scentsy decided that they're going to blow their consultants' worlds up with the new year. To give you a little background on the new CEO before we get into this all consultant call that was hosted by the CEO CEO's name is Dan Orchard, but he was not always the CEO. The CEOs were Heidi and Orville Thompson. They are of the Mormon faith and they recently went on a 3-year mission overseas in London. When they returned, they decided that the person in charge in the CEO seat while they were gone, Dan Orchard, is going to now take over in the CEO seat from here on out. In my opinion, I think they did this because they see what's happening in the MLM world. And within Scentsy, Heidi and Orville always made it a very family-oriented place to be. Now, to give you a little idea of how I know this, I was in Scentsy for about 4 years. So they were always about making it Scentsy family. It's Scentsy family. We're always here for you. This is a community. Scentsy's never going anywhere. We're never going to do our consultants wrong. In my opinion, I think they stepped down because they knew that changes needed to happen. And Dan can make them because he's not the family. Heidi and Orville are. So now Dan Orchard's in charge and he hosted a call, I think it was yesterday, that I was able to attend. Thank you very much. We are going to react to the entire call because I also recorded it. Now, really quickly, the audio is coming from my computer speakers when I'm recording the Zoom call. So it's not perfect, but I was able to get it pretty clear. I will also work on it in post so that it's as clear as possible for y'all watching the video. Editing Sam here. First and foremost, I am so sorry for the delay of this video. I was picking up my new doggo and she is home and happy and making everybody happy and it's amazing. But now that this video is finally out there, of course, Scentsy has decided to make some changes because this situation is as fluid as it can get, just like all the MLMs, because really, do they have any idea what they're doing? But anyway, during the delay of me editing and getting this video up, Scentsy has decided to push back the start date of the changes that they are making, these changes that we're talking about in the video. The new start date is April 1st, assuming it's definitely not an April Fool's joke, but it's April 1st instead of March 1st. things are getting dicey. There was also an announcement that earlier this month, they laid off, I believe it was 94 employees. I will put that up on the screen here for you to see. And now we're going to get into it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our special Zoom invitation. It's great to have you here. I'm doing a Zoom from our leadership and right after some changes that we made. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to connect with you and be able to share some of that insight and context of the reasons why we're making the changes, as well as answer lots of the questions that have come in. So let me first start off by welcoming you to the Zoom call, whether you're listening live or you are listening to this as a recording. It's great to have you. Thank you for investing your time into finding out a little bit more. I'm hopeful that the context and some of the reasoning why, and also the potential will help in answering lots of your questions and prepare us all for what's to come. Now, in my Zoom, I'm on the video. I'm going to be sharing the context that I gave our leadership group here. So you'll have the same context that they just received. In this room with me, I have Deb Bowden. She's helping administrating the Zoom call.
I don't care who is in the room with you.
What the f are we doing? I don't know if anybody cared that these people were in the room with him. That's such a bizarre thing to say. Like, they made semi-appearances during this call, but nothing major where anybody needed to know they were in the same room together. It was kind of awkward. And you'll see that this whole thing, his demeanor is a little awkward. I don't know if that's just how he is as a person or if he's just uncomfortable being in the CEO position and making these announcements now that Heidi and Orville are not having to do it.
I also have Chuck. He's helping me as well.
A little background on Chuck. Chuck is still in the family. He's Orville's brother, and he's been with Scentsy for a long time. Heidi and Orville, also side note while I'm rambling, are still within Scentsy in the C-suite. They're just not president and CEO anymore. They don't have control or say over anything. They could just say, I didn't do it. I'm just here to be with the Scentsy family and community.
And what we have done, just so we can stay in this flow of giving context and even some data and some numbers. I hope that's okay. I'm kind of a numbers geek a little bit, but it provides extremely important insight into what's happening with Scentsy, what's happening, with the industry really, and it highlights what we need to focus on. So I'll be sharing some of those things with you as well for your questions. And we've received quite a few via Facebook or individually. So keep those coming in. You can use the Q&A option in Zoom to enter in your questions as we go. We'll be watching that. Plus, I've gathered lots of questions over the last couple of days to make sure that I can give answers as I go through this presentation. I will be sharing a PowerPoint because some of these things I need to show you pictures of, and I think that makes the most sense to do that with. So we'll go that way. So let me go ahead and share my PowerPoint, and we will get that started. So once again, thanks for joining. This call is being recorded, and we'll make sure that it's available for all consultants. So they can get all that context. So a moment here.
It's not working. Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, there we go.
Just making sure we can share that here.
Should work now.
I'm just setting it up here on my side. All right, 1 second. Getting it all set up for us.
All I'm saying is,
you should be prepared.
There was a long pause. I cut it all out, but it was super awkward just sitting there with this long pause. And mind you, the chat was disabled. Nobody could talk. It just reminded me of everything that happened in 2023 with BODi. I made videos around what happened with BODi in 2023. I don't think that Scentsy is going to be a multi-level marketing company for much longer. By 2026, I think they're going to be affiliate only or big box only. I think that this business model is going away. This is the beginning of the end.
Really? Well,
what do you have, a crystal ball?
Just judging by what has happened in the past with other MLMs like BODi, formerly known as Beachbody.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Once again, thank you.
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
Be good just to hold them down by your side. Yeah.
Let's see here. Anything else that I want to mention? I realize, change is a big deal and we don't take it lightly.
Oh, before we go on, as far as like it being big box, the reason I think it might go that direction is because they're already testing this out. Somebody recently sent me a picture of a store in Epcot where they have a whole shelf of Scentsy warmers, bars, and I think they had buddies. I have the picture here of the shelf that the individual sent me. Thank you for sending me that, by the way. So I think that might be a test for them to see what's going to work better, affiliate or big box. And let me tell you, if you're a consultant watching this is the way business decisions are made. This is how an actual business is run, which might throw you for a loop because you didn't know this because you actually don't own a business. And this should be your eye opener to tell you, oh my God, this isn't my business.
We've spent a lot of time over the last few months, up to 6 months, in a discovery mode and looking at our numbers, looking at our trends, looking at the behaviors of what's happening out in the market. We're in 14 different countries and we are seeing a lot of similarities between the countries. And also, like I mentioned, some really key insightful data that really highlights the areas that we really need to focus on and turn the direction we're going in around. That's what it comes down to. So first, let me go ahead and start talking a little bit about really the industry and where Scentsy is, mostly giving context to the state of the business and what is going to be crucial for you, your teams, and Scentsy here in 2025. So let me go ahead and get to that here. I want to make sure that everything is working. So let me start talking about momentum. Momentum is fundamental to direct selling. It's either growing or that momentum is declining. And recently we've seen a decline in momentum really across just about every single direct selling companies. And if I look at that and see what and how people have responded, I know you've seen it as well, but there has been some pretty significant changes for some companies. Some companies have either changed their business model, gone more single level or affiliate model. Some have sold to private equity firms. Some have different financial situations where they have commitments to banks or investors that require them to make certain changes. And others have even closed. So
how many of them, Dan, have successfully revamped their MLM business model? Oh, wait.
Spoiler alert! Correct answer is none!
So it's not something that has been a bright spot for sure for the industry. And I realize that it's not hard to project that same kind of thought process as Scentsy's in the direct selling market, in that same industry. And when it's happening all around us, it's hard not to believe, okay, this is what's happening when we have a contraction as well. But one of the things I wanted to make sure I told you, and I wanted to be very clear on and clear up right now, is Scentsy's taking a different path. We are doubling down on the direct selling fundamentals rather than changing our business model. We are focused on supporting you and your teams and your efforts to be active.
Bullshit.
To sell, to recruit, and promote. And as long as you are all in, we are all in. That's our commitment. We want to help you. We want to support you and be successful as a team together. And the fact of the matter is, we are in a decline. Things are coming down. It's not the ideal situation where we are growing, but we are in a contraction mode. And right now, and even though we are still in the black, we're still profitable. Things may be getting a little bit thinner, but we are still in the black and happy about that. We are in a good place to respond with you and focus on building hope and momentum. Speaking of hope and momentum, let me share with you a quote that I came across that I really appreciate, and having a little bit of a struggle here.
You don't say.
Wow.
Making sure I can open the right one here. There we go. People speak of hope as if this is delicate, ephemeral thing made of whispers and spider webs. It's not. Hope has dirt on her face, blood on her knuckles, the grit of cobblestones in her hair, and just spat out a tooth as she rises for another go.
Even in an unfortunate change of events for the consultants, we have to have a motivational quote segment of the call. What does this even mean, Dan? No. Stop, cut the fluff, give the people what they need so they can make the informed decision of whether or not they are leaving this company or staying. I really hope they're leaving.
If I look at that quote and I came across it as I was preparing all of these changes, knowing that we need to introduce it to all of you and give you the context, it's hope is something that isn't something that you sit back and it's just given to you. We're going to have to work hard. We're going to have to work together.
But hope is not what you need. Hope is not what you need to improve a business. That's not what's going to make profit come. That's not what's going to put you back in the green and put your numbers trending up. Hope is not the answer. Hope is cool, but it's not the answer.
And I know that as we do and we put forth the work, we're going to build that hope, which is so critical at Scentsy. Now, it's not done automatically, like I mentioned. And a great place to start talking about Scentsy and talk about the hope is our core, our foundation, our 3 core values of simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. It is these core values that really has built Scentsy. It's unique, and it takes what is otherwise just a transactional relationship between a buyer and a seller, and it makes it to something special, something transformational, something that we can feel contributes to people's lives and helps them be their best selves. And when we double down on our motto of contributing more than we take, we strengthen those relationships we strive to build. We are a family-friendly business opportunity that brings value to the world, which is really Scentsy's aspirational why. And we talk about why being so important because that's what makes direct selling, that's what makes Scentsy so different, is that it is aspirational, that we can help others bring value to their lives, to change the trajectory of where they are and what they want to become.
It's not that serious, bro.
The more simple level and what makes Scentsy and differentiates ourselves from box stores and e-commerce is that we can provide a level of customer service and connection to our customers and to our team members that far exceeds that simple relationship that is felt from selling a product.
Okay, here's where I'm curious as to where's the need for that. I've said this in the past, I always refer to Target. I don't feel the need to have some kind of emotional connection or relationship with Target and its employees. I also don't feel the need to have an emotional connection with the waitress or bartender or waiter at the restaurant that I go to. Most people aren't looking for personal relationships with the stores or individuals they buy things from. So I don't know why they think there's such a need for this other than them wanting to grow more relationships with the people and be more connected to them so they feel like they have to join their team. There's not a need for this in the market.
You get to provide and make connections to people at a whole new level. And that's what continues to separate ourselves from other businesses and other directs, from other e-commerce and buyers and seller situations. And each time we do this, when we focus on our core values, when we lean into contribute more than we take, we are able to achieve an unprecedented hope, an unprecedented level of momentum and engagement. And that's something special. That's where I wanted to start to build from, as we have that common goal, that common source of why we are part of that Scentsy family. It's something special and something that I would never, ever want to forget. Now, even with those core values, even with our motto of contributing more than we take, our momentum has faltered. Those reasons are both out of our control, and some of them are within our control. But it is so important that we rebuild that momentum here at Scentsy for you, for the home office, or to support you in all of your goals that you want to achieve. And as we did this, we identified 4 focus areas, the most important areas to focus on in 2025. And these are: number 1, new customer acquisition. Okay, new customer acquisition, meaning new eyeballs or new customers coming into Scentsy. This is the number 1 thing. The most important thing in 2025 is getting new customers into Scentsy.
Okay. Now, as we know, this is an opinion-based channel, and I like to dissect things. Being somebody who was in Scentsy for 4 years and knows what's happening and sees what's happening and can kind of piece things together a little more than someone who maybe hasn't been in Scentsy before. I don't think this new customer acquisition is for the consultants. I think this is them setting up to be, again, either in a big box store or an affiliate program, because they need more customers than they have consultants. Consultants are going to be a little bit salty when they are switched to an affiliate model, so a lot of them might drop off and not purchase from Scentsy anymore. So they need a new customer base that is going to support their new business model. That is the way my brain worked when I saw this happening. This could work out for them. Anything is possible, right? This could work out for them, and all the new customers that they acquire are going to then turn into the best customers, which are consultants. Or it could not work out for them, and they're not going to turn into consultants, but they're going to be customers for life from the big box store or from the online store that people get affiliate cuts from. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Secondly, it's customer engagement. You know, once you have that new customer, you want to follow up, you want to make those connections, you want to make sure that they're enjoying the Scentsy products, and making sure that you can help them with any need that they may come across. Thirdly, the third most important area is new consultants, and having them join your team. Interestingly, number 3 and number 4, consultant engagement, those are really met and satisfied by the first 2. When you have new people coming in to Scentsy and they have that first experience of the Scentsy products, which is incredible. And if you're on this call, I know that you love Scentsy, you love fragrance. You know that if you can get that fragrance in front of someone, they truly can enjoy that. By following up and having that unique, authentic relationship with those customers, you create those opportunities, those aha moments of, I can do this, I want to partner with Scentsy, which leads to number 3 and number 4 here in our focus areas. I will circle back to these 4 focus areas as I go throughout today.
1 and 2 are 1 and 2 for a reason. They want those customers. Going back to my original theory, they're still hanging on to the consultants because of course they could get more affiliates that way, but their main focus is pulling more sales in because of course they're going to get money that way. But again, they need that new customer base because this one that they have right now, a lot of them are going to be salty.
And before I talk more about them, I want to kind of explain Scentsy's responsibility in all of this. When I say Scentsy and point to myself, I mean home offices. So if I just went through the 4 key areas that we would like you to focus on and we want to support you in the 4 that I just mentioned, let me explain what we are focused on here at the home office as stewards of Scentsy, the company. We are responsible for ensuring the company is healthy, to make sure we can support all of you. We evaluate our products, our programs. We monitor and react to trends and behaviors and changes, and make those changes necessary to support your team to be successful. And while, like I said, we are profitable and in a good position,
You're not fooling anyone. Shut your hole, Mr. Hayet.
we must strengthen our position right now and create an opportunity to build momentum. Throughout history, we have learned that together, by living our culture and focusing on these fundamentals, we can overcome really any challenge, anything that comes our way. I mentioned I was going to share some data, so get ready. I hope this is okay. I will be sharing it in these PowerPoint slides so you can get a taste and a sense of why the 4 areas I just mentioned are the most important for us as a company. So let me first share a couple of numbers that just gives us a common ground to talk from. So the very first one that I want to show you is this. This is a little look into our total number of current consultants. Right now, we have 154,000 current consultants worldwide. 58% of our consultants place an order in any given month. So out of the 154,000 consultants, 58% of them will place an order in a given calendar month, okay? This is just to give you a little reference. Let me keep going and explain this next slide.
He confirmed so many things for the anti-MLM community and argument on this call. This pie chart is proving to people that the consultants are the #1 customers. The consultants are the customers. They are the repeat customers that come back. The customers that buy from the consultants are mainly just the people that are buying to support the consultants' life fundraiser, from how I see it. Bite the bullet and get rid of this fucking business model already.
Of those 154,000 orders, 154,000 consultants, 25% of them place an order of 200 PRV or more, okay? 25% place an order in a given calendar month of at least 200 PRV or more. Just some insight, setting the ground and a common ground of understanding of kind of what it's looking like so far at Scentsy. Let me keep going.
75% of their consultants are inactive. This should just be a red flag. Let's talk about McDonald's again and compare them to Scentsy. Could you imagine if 75% of McDonald's were losing money and only 25% were being profitable? McDonald's as a corporation would ultimately just be like,
We have to shut down.
what are we doing? We know the problem. It's the MLM business model. Get rid of it.
Because the information I want to share now gives you a little bit of more of an insight into what trends are happening overall at the macro or the combined level. This first one is a line chart here. This is giving us a look at the average ordering customer, unique customer per consultant for the last 6 years.
I love this chart so much because, again, this chart backs up the fact that consultants are the #1 customers because an average ordering customer per consultant. Why would it be going down after 2020? Is it maybe because so many people joined Scentsy in 2020 during the pandemic? We all know so many people joined an MLM during the pandemic that now those customers are now buying from themselves, so the consultants don't have those customer orders. And this whole time, he doesn't make that connection at all. They have to be making the connection in the home office. And I hope that consultants are starting to make the connection too, because this is just showing you the inevitable is happening to Scentsy now.
Averaging ordering customer or unique customer per consultant. So in a given year, if I looked at 2018, the very first year in this, I can see that number is about 17. So in 2018, there were 17, on average, 17 unique customers per consultant ordering in 2018. In 2024, we know that number has gone from 17 down to 10, okay? So a lot fewer number of unique customers are ordering through consultants in 2024 compared to 2018, okay? Hopefully you're following me so far.
I'm following you, Dan, but I'm not sure you're following yourself.
I know, I'm just going to share a few of these data points, but they're extremely important to paint the picture of what is happening at Scentsy. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Next one is even more interesting, I think. Average number of new customers per consultant per year has gone from 11 in 2018 to just 4 in 2024.
Again, you're not going to have new customers when all of those customers that you already had, those new customers that you're acquiring, are now signing up as consultants. We are in an oversaturation period in Scentsy, and this is proving that because, again, 2020, it spikes. All of these people are ordering and now joining Scentsy, and from there, it goes down because those customers that are potential new customers are already the number one customer as a consultant. It's right there in front of them.
Let me say it one more time because this is really important. One of the key things, and if you remember, this is the number one focus area that we need to address. It is new customer acquisition. If I look at 2018, you can see that it is 11 new customers per consultant in 2018. In 2024, happens to be same in 2023, but in 2024, per consultant on average, there were only 4 new customers in 2024. This is big. This is why it is number one. Let me show you a couple of other graphs because these also help create this picture that I'm trying to do with all of you today. So this next slide here shares with you the average PRV per consultant per year for the last 6 years, just like the previous 2 slides. Average PRV per consultant. In 2018, you can see it's just above 2,000. For the entire year, on average, for all consultants worldwide, just above 2,000. You can see the chart in their pandemic years, we spiked up, definitely had an impact there. But if you look at 2024, you can see that we're actually about the same level of average PRV per consultant in a given year as it was in 2018. Interesting. I find it interesting. Okay.
I want to paint a clear picture to show you how this also connects back to all the customers joined as consultants. If you look at 2018 and 2019, you have that level. It's 2,000 PRV average, right? Spikes up in 2020 because these people are now able to reach out to more people online because so many people are home online. They are now able to get more sales. But those sales that they are now acquiring, they're now grooming them to be consultants. They join as consultants between 2020 and I don't know, let's say about 2021. And now they have their own PRV. So the average of PRV is going to go down back to 2,000 because of the oversaturation issue of consultants. There's more consultants getting PRV, making those earlier consultants get less PRV because now these customers of theirs are now consultants. It's all going to correct itself. And that's what you're seeing here on this graph. It's correcting itself, oversaturated, time to make a big change as far as the MLM business model goes. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting the wrong pieces together. You tell me in the comments, do you see the same thing now that we've seen these graphs and kind of evaluated and dissected the COVID boost in consultants and orders? It's happened with every single MLM, and we saw this play out last year with BODi, this exact scenario.
This is interesting because as we just reviewed, total unique number of customers ordering through a consultant is going down and new customers are going down, but PRV per consultant has remained same. They remain the same. All right, another slide. This one is a little bit different. This one is average party order count per consultant per year, okay? So total number, think of it as the total number of parties given in a single year. In 2018, you can see that it is 5.
What is he talking about?
Quickly, if you're not familiar with the party business model, I know it's a thing that's kind of faded away and not really talked about as much anymore. Scentsy is a party plan business model. So they rely on throwing parties, and a lot of times the consultants put their orders in as a quote unquote party so they can get the perks like the half off and free rewards you get from hosting a party with Scentsy. And I think that was important to explain because of what he's going to talk about here. And again, how the graph coincides to there's way too many consultants now.
Right around 5. You can see that it's spiked up through the years. In 2024, that number really has more than doubled since 2018, putting us at about 12. From 5 to 12. Are you following along with this in your head? I'm going to share and compare two of the slides because we wanted to make more sense of this. And what I did is I put two slides together, the average PRV per consultant, that one that remains the same from 6 years ago to today, which is about 2,000 PRV per consultant per year. And if I look at the average number of party orders in count, we know that it has doubled. Why do you think that is? Why do you think we have been able to double the number of parties, but yet the average PRV has remained flat? Well, I think that's a very interesting question. We asked leaders this at our retreat that we are on now. They came up with some good answers.
Great, the blind leading the blind.
And what it has come down to as we've dug deeper into that is that it's easier to qualify for a party given the higher priced items.
I love how they ask the leaders who have no actual business logic or knowledge in most cases, instead of asking their home office people, team of people, or giving you the actual reasons why this is happening. They're just going to tell you why these unqualified consultants think it's happening. What the world are we living in?
That Scentsy has to offer, and the variety of products that Scentsy has to offer. In fact, we have one product that if you just add that to an order, it qualifies for a party already. So it's easier to qualify for a party with fewer items. The other big thing that we notice is that consultants are choosing to host the parties and combining the orders to qualify for those parties. So as soon as it qualifies, they close the party and they're all set. And as consultants, as host, they're able to maximize their host rewards, which is just fine, to close out those parties. Here's one interesting fact. I don't have a data slide for it, but did you know 70% of all parties have a consultant as the host?
Dan, that's not helping your case whatsoever. Again, the consultant is the best customer. The average party order count is higher because, again, there are more consultants than there are customers, even though we know consultants are customers. We already went over that. And on top of that, with the consultants being the primary customer and getting these party order discounts, that is obviously going to cause a higher party order count.
It's math.
Another link that I make as I look at this, knowing that the total number of unique customers ordering with a consultant and the total number of new customers coming into Scentsy has rapidly declined, that we have a problem with getting new people into Scentsy. We have a problem finding new customers and introducing them to Scentsy, and part of that is because our systems and our programs have made it simple for a party to qualify.
Is that part of it, Dan? Or is it mostly because of the oversaturation issue that happens within MLMs?
It's also the reason why the number one and key area is finding new customers. Let me give you an example, and I think this will help hopefully bring this home for you on the importance of bringing in new customers. I wanted to come up with a good example, and at Scentsy and definitely for your businesses, there's lots of ways to build at Scentsy. A lot of people build through parties, whether it's home parties, online parties, virtual parties, basket parties, traveling parties, doesn't matter to me. Those are ways that people have built businesses. Some have done it through social media, some have done it through fairs and shows, et cetera, et cetera. There isn't a wrong way to do it, but there is a right way to maximize your ability to add customers into Scentsy. For this example, I'm going to use a party because I think that is the easiest way for me to emphasize the important characteristics of a party. So picture this. Picture myself. Let's wipe your mind clean of Scentsy. You don't know Scentsy at all. And I'm going to be the consultant, and I'm going to be at your friend's house who invited you over to have a Scentsy party. Again, this is an example that helps me illustrate the importance of these characteristics of a party that can be done in many different ways, but easy to explain in this example. So again, I am the consultant. Hello, I'm Dan. I'm a Scentsy consultant. You don't know about Scentsy, but you are at a friend's party, a Scentsy party. Now, if I am the host and I'm taking over this party and I stand up and I say, trust me, you have to purchase Luna. It is the best smelling fragrance that we have. And then if I would I would like to ask you by show of hands, and I did this at the leadership group, and I said, by show of hands, how many of you would have bought a Luna from me, who you probably don't know as a Scentsy consultant, ask you and tell you it's my favorite fragrance, please buy it. How many would you buy? How many of you would buy it? And there was a few that raised their hands at leadership. I'm guessing some of you may buy it as well. But think about this. If I change that scenario, while I may still be the consultant and it's your friend who's hosting the party, and they tell you that this is the best fragrance Scentsy has to offer, you have to buy it. How many more of you would buy it from a friend rather than an unknown Scentsy consultant? Many, many more. Just one example of emphasizing the importance of having a host or a non-consultant host or a non-consultant person that is able to introduce Scentsy to their friends and their contacts.
Sir, it ain't that serious. It's a fucking wax that has a scent. They will purchase it if they like it. There doesn't need to be this big emotional connection to every single product that you carry in Scentsy and recommend to people. It could just be as simple as,
this smells good, I'm going to buy it.
It shouldn't be that difficult to sell scented products. Look at Bath & Body Works and Yankee Candle. They don't need people that you know and trust telling you this smells good. You go in, you smell it, you like it, you buy it. When they have the plug-in warmers, you go in, you look at it, you like it, you buy it.
If you want to buy something that you like, buy it.
Not because somebody else said this is gorgeous, I love it, you should buy it. That's not how it works. You buy things that you like. Yes, there's a level of influence, but there's no level of influence that makes it this serious.
Because not only is it a built-in trust with that person, but it also opens up the opportunity for that non-consultant to introduce friends and contacts to you as the consultant. It's an incredible relationship. And as you amplify your efforts through others, whether it's a party, whether it's social media or other ways, when you use those key critical tools that you're able to amplify your efforts through others, you'll be able to increase your sales and referrals.
The whole time, instead of saying sale or sales, he says sells, just so you know. It drove me crazy. I don't know if anybody else is like me, but it's gonna drive you crazy too. We're on this boat together.
You're able to look more long-term than short-term and really key in on what's most important, especially right now, is bringing new customers into Scentsy. Okay, let me keep going. There was a quote that I came across from one of our leaders that I really enjoyed. It's a long one. It's on your slide right now, but there was two areas that I wanted to kind of point out. This is from a leader that has made it to the very top of our
pyramid
compensation plan.
Oh, compensation plan. Same thing, just different words.
And then title to superstar director. And as she was thinking and reflecting on her Scentsy business, she was thinking, what was it that I did? What was it that made Scentsy take off for me? The third paragraph down is what I really enjoyed. She said, it simply came down to one thing. I partied, then booked parties off those parties, then booked parties off those parties. I met people. I didn't ask people to party. I asked them if they wanted to try and get their Scentsy free and half off. Then I built relationships and took really good care of each customer. That was one piece. I thought it was such a good insight.
But there needs to be more context to this. It doesn't matter that she was able to do that. Sure, that's great and that's fine. When was it? Where was technology during that time? Where was the knowledge of Scentsy during that time? Where was the consultant count? Where were all of those things?
We need more information.
This post doesn't tell you anything other than she got in early and was able to climb her way to the top because of that. Allegedly, in my opinion.
Another piece is halfway down the next paragraph. She said this. We have to get into our cold market again. We have to meet new people. We have got to get ourselves back into the rhythm of getting people free and half off Scentsy and teaching our teams and groups to do the same. That is such great insight into what she shared in kind of reflecting back. Today, the world has changed. The pandemic escalated even more so personal website orders. It escalated even the impact of social media. And while it has not left behind the party, there are more opportunities for you to use, but it is to get to our cold market, to meet new people, to introduce Scentsy that have never heard of it before. And that's what we wanted to focus on. We also asked, as we were doing this research and data mining and finding out what it is that is most important and what our top consultants, our top performing consultants are doing, they came up with these other 4 characteristics that they focused on. This one, the first one, was the same one that we've already covered. Non-consultant party hosts. Don't get hung up on party. It's really get-togethers. It's partnering with Scentsy. It's finding non-consultant customers and friends that you're able to expand your Scentsy business with.
Non-consultant customers and friends. This is not how business works. Maybe in fairy tale land, but not in the real world.
Number 2. Leverage the host rewards program. This, just to give you a little bit more insight, think of it this way. Yes, you should maximize your host rewards, no doubt, no question, but be deliberate about how you use those host rewards and giving that back to the host by helping other new customers experience new products and introduce them to new categories, but be deliberate about it to support the end goal in mind, which is to support your customers and new customers coming in. A couple of other options that I know our top recruiters do. They build genuine relationships.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
They are wasting their time and energy building genuine relationships when they can be doing actual research on how to start a legitimate business that they own and have say in. There's no need for a deep-rooted relationship with your customers unless you're talking about maybe sometimes a nail tech, a hairstylist, things like that, where you're sitting with somebody for a long time and they are a service provider of some sort.
What kind of services?
Like a hairdresser. Get your mind out of the gutter.
So much so that I remember a consultant, we even interviewed some of the consultant customers just to find out what are they doing that makes it so unique. We had one of the customers respond with, they provide so much care and support that they know our birthdays of the family. They know what we're going through. They know and follow up and are more of a friend than sometimes family are.
Because there's money in it for them. There is money in it for them. I don't see it being genuine if there's always going to be a reason for them to reach out in the form of money.
And that if there's anything that I can do to support them in their business, I'll do it. Talk about taking that to the next level. Okay, number 4, using customer data strategically. Really quickly, this is something that as we enter in and focus on entering in customer data, we're able to enable you on following up with them, knowing how to tag and say, these are our Disney fanatics, or they just love Harry Potter collection. So anytime we come up with Harry Potter, we're able to go look at the data, and as the customer information is entered correctly, then you're able to follow up appropriately. Those were just
That's just market research. But I want to point out there's 4 things here on the screen on how leaders grow, and one of them is just not like the others. So we have number 1, non-consultant party hosts. Number 2, leverage the host rewards program. All right. Number 3, build genuine relationships. Well, that seems weird. Number 4, use customer data strategically. Okay, that makes sense. Number 3 should not even be on a business. Build genuine relationships. That's just a life thing, not for business. Like I said, if they took the time to focus on marketing themselves and a potential virtual business of their own, instead of building these bullshit genuine relationships that go away once you leave the MLM anyway, they would be so much more successful and likely more profitable. Now, there was a portion of this call where they basically just went over all of the products that are being discontinued, the new products, product changes, product price changes, and all of those things. Nothing really is pertinent to what we're talking about on here aside from the pricing changes. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put the graphics up from the slide as we talk about it, because I'm sure you can tell by the first part of this call, it was painful to sit through when he was talking about all of the product changes. So I'm just going to brush over that, and then he closes it up with the compensation plan changes. So that's where we're going to jump back into the call. So as far as the products, they have some products that are being discontinued. They also have a product line that is now being changed. They're changing the name to the category of Scentsy Air. There's going to be a bunch of different things in there that are having name changes. From there, they also have bundle and save packages that they have had forever. And they claim that they are quote unquote simplifying these bundles and making them less complicated for customers to understand when they are placing orders. But at the same time, the prices are going up on these bundle and saves as far as the discount not being as deep. It used to be a 15% discount on a lot of things when you did the bundle and saves, and now it is a 10% discount. They also no longer have the buy 5 bars, get 1 free. That was a huge thing. That was a thing when I was in. That was something that almost every single customer would take advantage of. And that was something also that some customers would only come and buy the wax for that deal. Now that deal is going away unless you're putting the order in as a consultant on the workstation. So if you're a customer who's ordering Scentsy and you used to go to the website and do the combine and save for the bundle of the buy 5 get 1 free Scentsy bars, that's no longer available. You have to talk directly to the consultant. And I think that's interesting. I think that's their way of, again, pulling in that new customer base so that they can get more either consultants or affiliates or customers for their next business venture. I think that's a good way for them to reach out to the consultants and have to talk to them and have to get persuaded to buy more or join the team or learn more about this or what have you. So I thought that was very interesting and worth mentioning. If there's anything else that I didn't mention right here, I'll be sure to throw the clips in to give you some context about the product changes and the pricing changes and whatnot. But for now, we are going to get back into the call and talk about the compensation plan changes.
Popcorn, anyone?
Also, if you've seen the Q&A on the side of this recording while I'm reacting, we are going to touch on those after we finish the whole recording.
We know this change is going to be disruptive. We know that change kind of feels a little bit uncomfortable, but we are also confident that these changes move us in the right direction for the future. It modernizes our bundle and saves. And as we get through the change management of these, I know it's going to be easier to explain to customers, and I know it's going to be easier to train for new consultants coming in. Okay, that's all of our product changes. As you know, let me get to the next set of changes that you are also very aware of, and those are the activity and party tier changes coming up. As we discussed in our product offering, we have more products that are a different variety of pricing and offering than we've ever had before. When Scentsy first started, we had, well, 1 or 2 warmer systems with simple pricing. At the beginning, we based our original party rules or party tiers and activity requirements on consultants having, you ready for this, a non-consultant host with 5 customers buying 5 warmers and bars. That's what the activity requirement was wrapped around and what the party tiers were built off of. Now, about 10 years or a little bit less than 10 years ago, warmer pricing had increased and bars had increased so much that the activity requirement and party tier also needed to increase to support the activity levels that would generate momentum.
Something I thought of as I'm sitting here and listening to him talk, I think this is also a great display of what happens when an MLM is so heavy on the
we are a family. We're never going to change the business model. We're always going to be Scentsy. We're always going to make sure our consultants come first.
I think that having that kind of attitude starting a business, we're seeing what happens when the market changes and when things need to change. In my opinion, when you're going into business, you shouldn't be promising your customers, who are essentially the consultants, that they're never going to change. You're always going to be family and blah, blah, blah. That's not how a business runs. And there is inevitably going to be changes down the line. And I think that, again, is a big part of why Dan is now sitting in the CEO and president's seat and not Heidi and Orville, because it's time for these changes to happen. And they are so far behind where BODi was in 2023 as far as trying to, I don't know, save the company, that they are now trying to catch up and they are having to make all these changes really quickly. Whereas if they were proactive and every 2 years or something, or every however many years, you have either an increase in the party tiers that has to happen because of the correction that has to be made as far as marketing and things like that. Those are things that business people are aware of. And now, because they didn't make those changes every so often, they're having to do it all at once 20 plus years after being in business, because they've never changed anything. So promising your consultants that you're never changing anything might not be the best approach to a business when you want to be successful for years to come. There are going to be changes. That's how businesses work.
Remember the data numbers that I shared earlier? It showed that the total number of unique customers ordering through a consultant were declining. New customers coming in were declining, and yet average PRV per consultant remained the same, and total number of parties doubled. This is the result of increased either pricing or product categories that make it simple for an order to qualify as a party, and doesn't support those activities that are crucial to building momentum, of finding new customers, engaging new customers, finding new consultants and engaging them as well. We are now at a point that we need to adjust that activity requirement and party tiers again. Starting March 1st, as you know, we are moving to 250 PRV as the required activity requirement. This is increasing from 200 PRV, and an important change in the efforts to start getting back to building momentum.
Now, this is where a lot of consultants are like, I'm out. I've seen many Facebook posts that I will put as I'm talking here, and even some reels and stories of people saying, it was too hard to get the 200 PRV. There's no way I'm going to get 250 PRV to stay active. I'm leaving Scentsy. They are not happy about this. And I can tell you, when I was in, the PRV requirement was 150. Now, products were less expensive back then, but it was still hard even back then to get the 150. If you don't have a large network of people who are willing to or able to spend this kind of money on scented products, it's not easy to reach that 250 PRV. It's not going to be easy. And these consultants who are getting out now know that. They're being proactive and they're like, I got to get out. And hopefully they are not rejoining MLMs. And if you landed on this video, please don't join another MLM. There are other ways. Reach out. I'll give you some ideas if you need them.
I realize this is 50 more PRV that would be required to either stay current or to have a downline team member be an active consultant and qualify for those commissions. We realize that this is going to be a stretch. It is going to be more of an effort. And as I thought about this and thought about what characteristics or what behavior change do we expect to come from it, is yes, it's going to be harder compared to 200. And in fact, if I asked all consultants, I'm sure people would say they would prefer it to stay at 200. But as we ask consultants and you to stretch a little bit more, you may need to find another customer. You may need to follow up a little bit more with previous customers to get that one more product or a few more products ordered, which creates the ability to increase the number of customers potentially ordering, which means you have more Scentsy products in front of them to experience and to enjoy the fragrance in their homes, which creates a more likely of a scenario where they may have that aha moment of being able to see you and say, I want to partner with Scentsy. I want to do what you do, which will increase the number of recruits we get at Scentsy, and their engagement and that hope and that momentum is built. That's why we're changing it from 200 PRV to 250 PRV.
For hope.
There's changes related to this that I wanted to explain. Know that our party tiers are going to change to match as well. Party tiers are based off of subtotals in local currency, depending on which country you live in. The charts that I'm using here today are only in US dollars, but I know that we have communicated out the different amounts for the different currencies. So please bear with me as I share US currency numbers as we've increased the starting point of a new party. So all parties, the first tier will be going from, in US dollars, from $200 to $250. We will still have our other tiers. Tier 2 will start at $400, tier 3 at $600, and tier 4 at $1,000. No change in host rewards percentages or half price items. No changes there. That will continue and move up with the new tiered mark. One point that I want to make out, where there is free shipping at tier 2, there is still free shipping at tier 2. It's just at that $400 US dollar mark. So that free shipping still is maintained, and you just have to continue to hit that tier 2 to receive that free shipping. Connected to the new activity level are the monthly sales award bonus threshold. This will also be changing. For those that know this, you know that if you hit 2,000 PRV in one calendar month, you get a 5% bonus in your sales, taking you from 25% on your PRV to 30% on your PRV. That number is also increasing from 2,000 to 2,500 PRV. Interestingly enough, and you should know this, and I bet many of you do, this puts you on the path to achieving the annual sales award. By hitting 2,500 in 12 months on average over the Scentsy Awards calendar, you can earn the annual sales award and be recognized on SFR and receive a financial reward as well. So that one is also moving from 2,000 to 2,500. Now we have one final change to discuss, and let me get to that. With the activity requirement changing from 200 to 250, we also took a very long look at our cancellation policy. Currently it states, and you know this already, so right now, you need, or your downline team member needs, at least 200 PRV month in the last 4 to make sure that you maintain your team. Or you hit 200 PRV in one of the last 12 months to stay current at Scentsy and not be canceled. That number is going from 200 to 250. Okay, so that will continue to be a requirement at 4 months or at 12 months to hit 250 in one of the calendar months out of the last 4 or the last 12. This is something that we continue to do because it's important that we want to establish a community.
The last 4 or the last 12, which one is it? I'm assuming it's probably dependent on your rank, but I haven't been able to find enough information or dissect the compensation plan enough yet to figure that out. We might be doing that on this video in a minute, but we might have to do it in another video. I don't know how much information is available right now, so there might be, like I said, another video on this whole Scentsy debacle. There probably will be. We know there will be.
Want to be part of Scentsy, they need to have at least 250 PRV to stay current with Scentsy. The people that I'm talking to may be more hobbyists. They may be those that love Scentsy products and use it for personal use. We realize that. Similar to what I said before, it will be more difficult. But as we stretch and as we've talked about with increased prices on our products, and the variety of products at the higher base point, we know this will encourage behavior that will help create momentum at Scentsy at all levels. They are part of the Scentsy family, and I don't discredit any of that. And we hope to support them any way we can from the home office, and we hope to support any of these from leaders and from upline sponsors as well, as we all want to play a part of that to contribute to Scentsy and to the Scentsy family. Now, while we looked at it and we were looking at the cancellation policy of 12 months, we've built in this behavior at Scentsy that consultants with downline team members sometimes would follow up with a kind of a harsh reminder to their downline team member that may be canceled or coming up on one of those 4-month or 12-month marks. And they are needed to put a 250 PRV order in. And that follow-up tend to revolve around, do this so you don't get canceled or so you don't lose your team. That follow-up was a hammer, that follow-up was a stick. We came up with the 250 to change how we can motivate our team members in a positive way to make an impact to them. So what we did is we made one other change. As of March 1st, Essential Consultant will now be a rank, meaning any consultant that is certified or above who is not active in a calendar month, meaning doesn't hit 250 PRV in a calendar month or more, they will be paid at a 20% commission for that month. For those that hit over or above 250 PRV in a calendar month, who are certified or higher, will earn 25% commissions.
All right, there it is. The commission changes. This is just another thing that is really riling up these current Scentsy consultants because they're getting pay cut. I want to explain how this works just in case you are not familiar with Scentsy. I do have a full deep dive on their current, at least until March 1st, 2025, their current compensation plan that I will link in the description. But to explain the essential consultant being a rank, when you signed up for Scentsy in the past, you would start out as an essential consultant. That's your title. And once you sold 1,000 PRV of product, you would then get promoted to certified consultant. And when you got promoted to certified consultant, you then have a 25% commission rate. And that is from there on. You never fall below 25%. You never go back to essential consultant again. They just changed that. Where now, if you don't meet that $250 in a given month, you are only getting 20% commissions on any of your sales instead of 25% commissions. You have to sell $250 in any given month to get your full commission of 25%. And let me remind you that BODi did this in 2023, a year before they announced they were getting rid of the recruitment-based business model and switching to an affiliate-only program.
First and foremost, we have commission. Commission is going to be dropping from 25% to 20%. And that's just something that they've done. If you haven't listened to the call from Carl and Michael Neiman kind of explaining where the money is coming from and like why the kind of commission cutback, please listen to that.
I think that on January 1st, 2026, Scentsy will no longer be a multi-level marketing recruitment-based business. I don't know that is fact. I just think that is what is going to happen according to the trends that have happened in MLMs in the past. Specifically, what I'm talking to right now is BODi because it's the most recent one that happened. It's the most recent one that flipped to affiliate only. And it mirrored this. Again, I did a video on that. I'll link that in the description. You could see the similarities. It's scary.
Okay, so let me say that one more time. Essential Consultant is now going to be a paid at rank for all consultants across all countries that are certified title or above. As long as your PRV is 250 or above, you will get 25% commissions. Any month that it's below 250 PRV, it will be 20% commissions. Okay, this is what it looks like to make sure we are speaking the same language. The one bit that we are looking forward to see the behavior change and the reasons why team members or leaders follow up with their downline, frontline members is this. This now gives you and all sponsors a reason to reach out monthly to those on their way to 250 to let them know and encourage them to hit 250 PRV for an extra 5% bonus in their PRV commissions. Rather than the threat of cancellation every 12 months, this is a monthly follow-up that you can follow up with a carrot, with something that they can strive to achieve to earn that extra 5%.
But I thought it was their business, Dan. Why do they need somebody dangling a carrot in front of their face? It's their business.
We believe this change will drive more activity as your team members strive to reach higher PRV. We believe as you stretch yourself to hit that new 250 level, you will introduce Scentsy to more customers, that it will eventually lead to more recruits and more team members that will be these fundamental building blocks to momentum and Scentsy in the future. Now, I covered a lot today. I hope it gave you more context to the communications that were sent out. I hope that I was able to answer a lot of the questions that came in either through Facebook or through chat. I've been able to capture a lot of that feedback and help to understand the reasons behind the decisions that were made. I know that change is difficult. And I know that we'll continue to watch this and continue to focus on this and continue to support this as we build this momentum together and as we focus on those 4 key areas here in 2025. It all starts with new customer acquisition. And I know it's going to take hard work. I know it's going to take grit. I know it's going to take this tenacity. It's going to take all of us to do this. I love this quote. It says, "Remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together." Scentsy Home Office is not going anywhere. We are here to support you. We are doubling down on the fundamental principles of direct selling to help you to support your team, to be your best self, to be part of the Scentsy community, and to be able to create an environment where you can flourish, that you can feel proud, that you can live the Scentsy culture and contribute more than you trust. We are here to support you. We love you. I hope that this Zoom call has been helpful. Share it with your others, share it with your team. Give us your feedback. We want to listen. We want to turn the ship around and build this rhythm and momentum that creates so much hope and excitement that you want to shout and share Scentsy with everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. We love you. Take care. And we will see you soon at World Tour.
So there you have it, folks. Those are the official changes that are coming to Scentsy March 1st, 2025. Like I said, I don't see them being a party plan business or a multi-level marketing business model for much longer. I think they're going to flip to an affiliate model like we are seeing so many MLMs do. And that goes back to me saying, I think we're finally getting somewhere. This is good news. This is exciting. I do feel for the consultants that do rely on this income. I get it. It's hard. But this is the reality of what happens to a multi-level marketing company when it reaches the saturation that Scentsy has, in my opinion. I do want to go over some of the questions that came in during the call. They were on the screen recording. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I wanted to address a couple of them. The first question that came in was actually, is it not possible to honor the original agreement for current consultants and implement the 20%, 25% for incoming consultants? Says this question was answered on the call. It was not answered on the call. It was not addressed. It just said it was answered. Somebody actually did ask if Scentsy was looking into going from private to publicly traded, and if so, if this is the reason. They didn't answer this question. They just said it was answered live. So again, I am speculating that they're either doing big box or affiliate. That would support that theory, I think, or lean towards supporting that theory, but they didn't answer it, so we'll never know. Somebody also asked, does this have anything to do with our imports from China and the impending tariffs? And Chuck said he's going to answer that question live, and he never did. So that's worth mentioning. There was a consultant too that asked, should we be worried about Scentsy closing like several other party plan companies have recently? And Chuck answers, no. These are relatively small changes and are intended to maintain our price strength position. We have always chosen to make decisions when we can choose what changes we make instead of waiting until change we don't want is forced upon us. Chuck, I believe it's too late for that. Like I said earlier in this video, these changes should have started to be made long ago so that you're not having to give your consultants a pay cut on what already is not very much money. It's a street team. You have a street team that's now going to go and promote your future affiliate program, in my opinion, allegedly. This was a good one. And this question was actually asked multiple times that I saw. Is it fair to ask how many consultants there were in 2018 compared to 2024? Chuck says, very fair, but I don't have that number in front of me. I will try to see if I can find it. Sir, that should be a number that should always be in front of you. You should be able to access how many consultants were in your company year after year quickly on your laptop that you're sitting next to Dan on. So tell me that bullshit again that you can't access how many consultants were in 2018. That's a line of horseshit, in my opinion. This consultant asked, so for the ranks that are below director, could we lose our rank? For example, I am a star, but my entire team quit. Red flag. Haven't gotten any new team members. Shouldn't I go back to being a certified consultant, like when directors go back to the queue, or even down to superstar consultant? Chuck says, no, you do not lose your title at any other level but director. Your pay is based on your rank, but your title does not change. So all the title is your title on your website, essentially. So that's basically giving their ego a little stroke and letting them be okay with keeping their title. But you're still getting a pay cut. This logic is not logicking. Here's another good one. What support will home office be providing for the consultants to help find new customers, since this is what the focus is on home office's end? Deb responds with, this week we launched consultant discussion groups called Spark Sessions on each of these key business topics. These discussion groups are open to all consultants, and one of the focus areas is finding new customers. That's not the question that was asked. The question is asking, how is home office helping? Those are consultant groups run by consultants filled with consultants who are not in home office, who don't get a guaranteed paycheck. These people at Scentsy should have some kind of knowledge to help these consultants who give them money to be a part of their promoting street team, in my opinion. They should have the correct resources to help them find new customers when home office is wanting them to get new customers, and not rely on their customers to teach their other customers how to get more customers. This is insanity. Somebody also addressed the jump between the ranks when you're in the big leadership roles of director and above. Is the company also exploring additional leadership levels from superstar to director? It is a very big jump from one to the other and makes a lot of people feel stuck or want to give up. Deb says, hello. At the last Scentsy family reunion, we introduced some additional awards between Scentsy Superstar Director and Circle of Excellence, which was the biggest jump. So we're continually looking at things we can do to help you. Awards, they aren't wanting awards. They want different ranks so that they can make more income. They don't want trophies or lawn chairs or scarves or blankets or towels. That is free marketing for you. They need income. How do you expect consultants in a population of 38,898 with 12 consultants to get new customers? The only way is if someone quit. Deb says, hello. In my experience, I asked my customers if they had family or friends who lived elsewhere and might be interested in Scentsy. Then I asked those family and friend referrals if they had any family or friends who lived elsewhere and might be interested in Scentsy, and so on. This isn't helpful. There was this hard hitter. What sort of pay changes are being implemented for Scentsy management? Or is this just something to be borne by your legion of consultants? As our employees, managers, and executives would confirm, pay changes impacted and continue to impact home office employees well before they impacted consultants. It shouldn't be impacting your employees who are there working for you for a certain amount of time for a guaranteed paycheck. Red flags. Red flags. You should be able to take care of your actual employees before you're shilling money out to your people at the top of your pyramid. What are we doing? Come March 1st, how do we explain to our customers that the buy 5 get 1 free is only available on our end? Some of my customers place orders randomly or at their leisure via my PWS, personal website, that they pay for. With these changes, PWS purchasing customers will pay more versus customers whom I'm able to place their order on the workstation. I say this with the utmost respect, but how is that fair? Chuck responds with, I think each of you will need to find out that sales pitch and messaging. Not an iota of help offered to this consultant who is asking for help from somebody in a C-suite. But y'all are a great community and family, blah, blah, bloody bullshit. Folks, this is the beginning of the Scentsy sky falling I guess we can call it. I did receive a ton of content from you guys, so thank you so much. Like I said, I'm still weeding through it. I'll probably put some clips of consultants reacting right here to kind of give you an idea of what they're feeling. I am going to keep making content around the changes with Scentsy. So as far as the content that I am receiving, those will be in upcoming videos. I have some calls from teams that have already had meetings about these changes. I have some reactions from consultants that went on YouTube and made full videos. I have a lot of content coming around this Scentsy change that is happening, and I hope that it keeps coming. If you keep seeing it, keep sending it my way. I appreciate it. I love it so much. This is what I do. This is what I'm here for. And Scentsy is my jam because, like I said, I was in it for 4 years. But with that, it is time for our palette cleanser. TikTok hates you bullshit, but in the US, TikTok is now gone, I guess, but I still have access as I'm recording this. So we're just going to keep it going until I figure out what I'm going to call it and do with it. Anyway, enough rambling.
Have you ever been told that you're cute before?
Yes.
I already warned you guys that you're going to be getting a lot of dog content when it comes to the palette cleanser because I was looking at adopting a pit bull and I'm getting her tomorrow and she will be in some videos, I promise. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my